Alrighty, good morning everybody. We are back, and as you can see, we have a Hexmark destroyer. Yeah, I've decided to pick up one of these babies here, and what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be unboxing and putting this guy together. So yeah, and we're going to be rocking a rum flavored Hawaiian coffee, which is butternut rum coffee. So it is oh so good. Gotta love it. Anyway, welcome back to The Varied Life. I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy, American expat, living here in Korea and doing some cool Warhammer stuff. Yeah, slowly but surely putting together the Necron army, as you can see there. We kind of got a bunch of guys going. Got the combat patrol. I've got a kill team. And this is going to be the new addition to the Warhammer-ish horde that we've got going on. 11th edition just dropped. Of course, that doesn't really do anything for me because I don't even know how to play Warhammer yet. We're just in the stage of putting the army together and everything. So we're going to jump into that eventually because I think with my combat patrol, and I think I've got enough guys to start to learn, to figure out how to play. And man, there's so many rules in Warhammer. But we're going to give it the old college try and see if this old dog can learn some new tricks. We'll see what happens. But until then, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to put this guy together. And yeah, it ends up, as you can see there, boom, little Hexmark dude. So yeah, it should be quite the interesting little thing. We got Terry here this morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Especially with all the craziness that is going on in the world, what I like about doing the models and the little guys that we got here and doing all kinds of paint schemes and everything. Yeah, you can just shut out the rest of the world. So, we got John's here. John, morning. Good to see you. Or good evening, depending on where you're at. But yeah, crazy stuff going on in the world. So we're kind of retreating into the hobby life to try to get things going on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dip on over to the desk. Let me set up something here, because I think what I want to do is no, not that one. I want to do that one. And do we get rid of that one? Yep, we'll get rid of that one. And then we could do the top one. And then we'll get rid of this one. And we'll get rid of that one. And I guess we can go back to the side. So let's see what we can end up doing. Maybe we can bring that in a little bit and do that. That's not what I want. I wanted this one. That's the one that I wanted. We'll kind of bring this in like so. So let's see if we got it. We got the top there. We got a side. Okay, I think we're good to go. So, Texas and Virginia. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll just drop in here. We'll head over to the desk. And of course, we'll need to get the tablet going. Oh, I'm going to need a cutting thing. And the tablet, and the YouTube, and the Hexmark that we've got going on there. So, my desk is getting way too crowded. So, let's see, where are we at? I need my channel, and we're going to do that right there. Okay. Let's go ahead and set our coffee aside. And we'll just take a look. Yeah, we're getting pretty good. We've got we've come a long way with that guy there. We're getting a lot more paint done, more details. Of course, if you didn't pick it up and look at the details, you would be like, ah. So we'll see. Okay, you know what? Let's just do it this way. Boom. And we're going to need cutters. I knew I was forgetting something. Where are my cutters? I got that. Seriously. John says he can't wait for his trip to Korea in October. October will be a good time to come. It will be good. Seriously? Where are my little side cutters at? Oh, there they are. They're back at my desk. I'm so unorganized right now. There we go. Yeah, Korea will be cool. It's starting to warm up now. So yeah, it is quite the deal. This shouldn't be too bad for putting this guy together. One miniature. Can't believe I paid this much money for this thing. For 12 and up. I think I've hit that a little bit. One sprue with instructions and one base. Obviously, we're going to have to get another base on this, and we will see how that goes. There is the sprue. However you want to look at that. And then we have our directions here. And that's it. So we've got 1, 3, 6, 8, and 10. And then he's got like 6 disintegrator pistols, so we'll see how this goes. So, kind of set that off there. But yeah, we'll definitely need another base because of the bases that I use are very different. So yeah, we're gonna have to get some custom made base, so we'll have to print one of those out. Do I have a base top? That's too big. That's too small. Of course, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to print one out because I don't have anything that size. But that's what 3D printers are for. And plus, this doesn't have the magnet on it like I have the magnets on here. So we'll definitely have to print a base up and knock that out. I thought I had an extra one, but I guess I don't. Oh well. No big loss. First thing we end up having is 1 and 2. So let's see if we can find 1 and 2 on here. Okay, there's 1. Yep, that's 1. And for those of you, that's kind of that piece right there. They end up there. Kind of that bottom left is the indicator number, or the item number. That's a little focus. There we go. So you can see the one down at the bottom left. And let us begin. But it's getting pretty warm here in Korea. Yesterday was in the high 80s. And yeah, which isn't bad. In the mornings it's cool. But in the evening it's still a little warm in the 70s. So, and there's 2. But it's coming. That's the only thing I don't like about Korea, is the hot and humid summers. They are a bit crazy. So, and we're going to use our little X-Acto knife to get what I really need to get is one of those little files. Like a emery board or something to get that super smooth. Hey, hon, do you have any emery boards, like fingernail file? Mm-hmm. Can I have one? Yeah. Please. I think it'll work a lot better. So we can sand those things down. Let's get the fan going, because it is a little warm. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty. On the 80 and 240. That's a little thick. Need to find something a little bit. A little bit finer next time. But that'll work for now. I think we're good to go. And then we'll see how this goes. Okay. Like this, and then guessing it goes like that. Focus. Yeah, well. And then 3 and 5. Dun, 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 dun. There's 3. And And then 5. There's 5 super small parts. Super small parts. Grow. It's just the tininess that we've got going on is insane. Guessing that's how that goes. Of course, all these are probably going to be in a position where you probably won't even see the marks on them. But holy crow. Can we get anything? Okay, I think these press fit in here. It's got like a little connector on there, but it's a interesting. Holy crap, is this small? You gotta be kidding me. This is crazy. Really? Tell me I'm gonna have to pull out the... Am I really gonna have to pull out my my magnifying glasses? I think I will. Crap, that is like super small. Super geek powers activate. Okay, so that does go there. Got to be kidding me. I was so hopeful. Okay, there it goes. Good Lord, that was crazy. Oh, seriously? Son of a... George is there. We're trying to put these in. Okay. Let's see what we got now. And then, is it just me or are these things? not make any sense. So I got 1 and 2, 3 and 5, and then it shows this here. Okay, so we got that. Step 2. So now we're going to need 4 and 6. Good Lord. This is the only thing I don't like about this. 4, which is that piece right there, which is so small. And then 6. What does 6 look like? And there's 6 right there. Okay. They've got some guys going over at the hobby store going to be playing Warhammer, the new edition. So I think I'll go over there and see what they're doing over there. Butternut rum. Gotta love it. Okay. Now, good Lord. Seriously, you saw the... Oh, God. I think I'm going to have to put some glue on there. Seriously. That's crazy. George says, instead of a trip to Florida with my friend, we're considering a trip to Japan. It will be oddly less expensive, can stay longer, and something new. Be careful of Japan. They are looking at increasing the fees and everything for tourists. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more expensive to do Japan. So I don't know if they've raised the price yet, but they are talking about it. Where's that going to go? Oh yeah, right there. Get him in there. And the other piece is staying in there fine, but where's I don't have my activator spray. I think by the time that dries, I think we should be good. I think these things I need this blown up. This is like insane. Maybe I'll do that next time. Print this whole sheet out on an 8.5 by 11, scan it, and then blow it up. I think that's what I need to do. Don't you love getting old? Okay. So where is this at? Is that there or there? Okay, I think we get it. I think we get it. So, good Lord, where's the orientation on this thing? Seriously? Really? You're going to have me pull out the magnifying glasses again so I can read this? Okay. So the small piece goes in there, which goes into his arm, like so. And then this other piece goes in the second one. Where the hell's that go? Maybe it goes in that one. I don't get it. Okay, so it takes, jeez. So that one goes there, but it doesn't press fit in. So we have to glue that. And then, where does that go? It doesn't make sense. That. And of course none of this is just going to have to be glued because there's no connector on here. Damn you Warhammer. And this little piece on the arm, of course I'm going to have to do a little bit of gluing on this. George says on the Florida trip he's got family there. Being stationed in Okinawa so many times, my older cousins decided to move there years ago. Oh, okay, cool. That's nice. What? Okay, so that goes in there. Seriously. I sent him some snack food from Okinawa. I think I spent like one day in Japan, in Tokyo. I had a layover And then they asked for volunteers because they overbooked, so I took it. I paid for a hotel, spent the night there. And that is going to go there, and that is going to go there. Boy, they're not making this fun. I thought this was going to be an easy thing to do, but apparently not. There, a little bit there. God damn it. Hulk mad. Get in the hole. Seriously? You've got to be kidding me. That's crazy. Seriously, mother. God. Games Workshop, I hate you right now. You are not my friend. So you gotta glue this thing, but it doesn't snap. And they don't make it to where it... Good Lord, seriously. I'm gonna need some activator. Oh, there it is. This is stupid. Dun, dun. Seriously? No, you're not. Good Lord, that was painful. Okay, now we got to do that. And we're going to need a tiny drop on there. This is insane. So much for the, yeah, this will be an easy little model to do. Jesus. Okay. $80 torture device. No, it's only $37 torture device. All that, and we've got a couple of things. We got a couple of things going. Some of the Games Workshop models are good because they snap in there. You don't need any glue. Obviously, this is not one of those things. Okay, so now we did that. Now we need 7 and 8, which is going to be the same thing. There's 7. So at least we know some of the hassle that we're going to put up with. So there's 7, and then 8. 8, 8, and 8. This is the other thing I like. They got a picture of 8. I don't know if you can see that right there. The number 8. And then that looks... Where is it? This looks like nothing like the number 8. It's like... So kit number 8. Well, that's 8. Yeah, it's just at a weird angle. Holy crap. Crazy. Combat Patrol wasn't bad, putting that together. I think the worst ones to put together were these guys. So, out of the Combat Patrol, these guys were the worst because they're lower legs. You got 3 legs. And those were a pain in the butt. I got 2 of them together, and then I wasn't paying attention. I had to cut them off in the torso and redo the legs, which thankfully I ended up having. And this thing has become a great tool, this Hozo Neil Blade ultrasonic cutter. That is what saved one of my guys here. And I've been using this more and more. So yeah, it is... it has been really good. Seriously, now I got to do this again. Okay, and do the same thing, but the other side. So there's that side, and it like that, and I'm assuming this is the 7. And that is going to go the top one there. Good Lord, this is painful. Absolutely painful. Seriously. I'm gonna have to get the geek glasses out again. Seriously, this is not fun. Square hole, okay. Well, there's the square hole. And that one goes there. I got a little bit of trimming to do. Okay, now the question is, okay, so that goes there, so we're good there. But I think what we're going to end up doing is we'll throw some glue on there. And we'll do this first one. There is the square hole. That off to the side and see if we can get a tiny little bit. Good Lord, that's a lot. And then we can pop this guy right in there. Oh, God bless. Seriously. Hulk mad. Okay, crisis averted. And then this guy goes in like that. And we're still going to put a little glue on there. Seriously. Okay. Painful process. Okay, 3 steps. 3 steps down. Wait until you do Gundam. Actually, I have a Gundam model that is huge, that has way too many pieces, and I've been putting that off. That is going to be ugly. Matter of fact, some of you might remember this. It is a big motherfucker. Sorry, children. So I've got this thing, which is absolutely insane. I thought big would be and it's for 15 years and up. And unfortunately, I think this is too much for me because this thing is an insane amount of small pieces. So yeah, that'll be for another super long video. That definitely won't be for a quick little video. Well, the good news is we've reached 411,081 views on my videos, but that's lifetime. I've had the channel for a while, but we're definitely in a different direction than when I originally was. And more crazy arms. I think he's got like 6. Has he got like 6 pistols? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he's got like 6. Or 5? No, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 6. Good Lord. This is going to be long and drawn out. Okay, 9 and 10. So we've got more. We got 9. Let's find 9. Where is 9? Here's 9 right here. And hopefully when I build my army, we won't need a bunch of these. I think this is just like a one-off thing to do. And what was the other one? 10. 10 is his breastplate. Okay, that. Hey, we got Ferrithus in. Hey, it's been a while, brother. I was wondering about you. Like, where is he at? Been busy, having fun? We're just here cussing out Games Workshop and putting together this Hexmark destroyer. George says, well, I have a new project I've been printing, fake red wasp nest for people because they seem to scare off the wasp. Ferrithus says he's on vacation for the past 2 weeks. Mediterranean cruise. Dude, but that was nice. Never been on a cruise. Let's see, where the hell does this go? Seriously, next time I get something that has this small of instructions, I'm going to scan it and blow it up to 8.5 by 11. Okay, I got to make sure the orientation. Okay, so this and that will go there. Like so. Okay. More glue, more glue, more glue. But before I do, Ferrith says it was pretty good. Every other day, another city. Wow. Sounds like an interesting thing. one of these days I want to get to seeing more videos on China, and some of that looks pretty interesting. Okay, this piece goes there, and that little piece goes there. I'll do a little bit of spritz, some activator, and we're good. And then I got to put this piece on there, which supposedly goes on there, and somehow I got to use my new camera and the new gimbal a bunch. Oh, cool. Yeah. He ended up getting an awesome deal on a cool camera. Okay. I think we're on the right track here. A little bit of that. And like that. And then that will go there. Those pieces don't line up well. It ends up that the focus. I have to wait till it goes. Of course, then it switches. So focus, damn it. So right where those two pieces meet, they're not like super good. But what do you do? Okay, next thing, let's see what else we got. So I got that. So 4 is good. 5. We got piece 4. Okay, we did that. Okay, we're good there. We got a choice of 2 different heads. And 11 or 12. There's 11. $197 gig of photos and videos. Holy crow, you were busy. So there's 11. See if we can find there's the other one, 12. But I think we're done with vacations this year because we're looking at, if some of you remember, buying another apartment as an investment property. We got one that has 6 eyes and another one that has 6, but one is a circle orientation. The other one is in kind of like 2 lines. Camera's not focusing. Come on. I could probably get it better here. Seriously, camera? Oh. I think I'll do the circle guy, the circle head. And the circle head goes on the head. And of course, that didn't press fit, it just sits on there. You know what? Maybe tweezers? Seriously? Yay, we got it on there. Good Lord, it took a while. That was a doozy. That was crazy. Yeah, that's a better view. So yeah, fun stuff. Gee whiz. And 197 gig of photos and videos. Now he's got to sort through all that stuff. One photo, 60 meg, and 4K videos are pretty big. It's not too bad. I've gotten pretty lazy when I go on vacation. You take a bunch of photos and videos and then you pick out like 2 or 3 and then that's it. The rest of them are in the cloud. So I'll take some pictures and whichever ones the wife likes, I'll like color correct and do that, and she'll enjoy that. Okay, now we got 15, 13, and 16. Okay. Uh, 15. Kind of looks, that's got to be a leg. So there's 15. And these side cutters are I think they're from Japan. And yeah, these are the sprue only side cutters. I don't use them for PLA or anything like that. This is just solely for for doing the models. Need to see if they got something better than 240. Yeah, it works. It's good enough. That's 15. Oh, Ferris says he got his sleeve done. Ooh. So what's the theme of your sleeve? Where is 13? 13. There's 13. Boy, this model sucks. As far as like taking this stuff off. It's 15 and then 16 is there. I want to get my sleeve covered up. And one of these days, I just got to get to it. But I got so many other things I want to do. Like, I just found an IKEA cabinet base and top that I want for the print room. Laser system I built a few years ago with an accelerator system goes down my arm now. Cool. Hey, if you get a chance, send me a picture of that. I'd like to take a look at that. I'm debating on whether I should kind of a Viking-ish element, or maybe a Warhammer element. Yeah, covered up. My old sleeve, I got it way long time ago, back in the ancient days, where they did bloodlines instead of Sharpies. So it's just like, yeah, they outlined it with a tattoo gun. So you had a red line from the blood, and then that was the line, and then they worked from that. Yeah, it was like, that is so old school, it's not even funny. Yeah. So I want to get something that looks good. But I've kind of been debating on, you know, what I want to get. Because part of me wants to get like Viking. The other part of me wants to get like Warhammer type. So yeah, but whatever it is, I want it to be good. Okay, and now we've got another picture. So I got to orientate that like that. And 16 will go in there. Yes. Okay. Glue. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, there's an IKEA cabinet that I want to get for my printer. And so there's that. Yeah, that's a lot of glue. Oh well. So, and then where does this other one go? Like that, and then that goes there. Seriously. Let's spray some activator on this, get this going. Always think these sleeves look super cool, but I could never really identify with them, so mine designed myself with a friend. Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm stuck. It's like, I kind of know what I want, but then I want it to have its own... What the... Okay. And it doesn't have a little snap fit thing. Thank you, Games Workshop, for putting small posts and holes on a bunch of stuff, but on this you're just like, screw it. And get some of that. So that goes on to this, like that. Okay, I hope that's where that goes, because it's staying there. 13, 14, and now we need 14. There's 14. So yeah, just something that looks good. That's what I want. So kind of a little Viking-ish stuff I wouldn't mind. Then the Warhammer stuff, that wouldn't be bad either. I think that would be good. Okay, now supposedly, in the same vein, it goes like so. But there's no post and hole again. It should be standard on all of this stuff. And if we can hold that and spray it. Good Lord, there we go. 6 steps. But the butternut latte makes it all better. This is that Green World Hawaiian coffee farm that we went to on Oahu, which is superb. I got it dialed in really, really good. So I'm enjoying that. Okay, so 6, 7, 1, 2, 7. And we'll see how this goes. But yeah, there's an IKEA base cabinet that I want to get. And basically for the printer room, it's going to have like a cabinet with some drawers, and then like it's a kitchen base cabinet, and then a cabinet with drawers. And so I'll have 2 swinging doors on one with a drawer and another cabinet door, and then another one that has like 3 drawers in it, and then across the top will be like two countertops on it, which is kind of like this color of wood, and that will end up being 120 centimeters, and we'll have 2 of those, and it'll look really good. So yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, now we can put them together. We're going to make sure we orientate this right. So that to that, and that like that. So it goes like that. And of course there's no post and hole. Good Lord. Games Workshop, what are you doing? You're killing me, bro. You're killing me. Whoever designed this, you suck. There should be a post and hole, because this is just absolutely horrible. It's just... And of course you can't see in there. And there's no like positive snap or fit. I think it's just... Games Workshop, you suck. This model sucks. We got to get out the geek glasses again. Okay. And trim that down a little bit. Maybe that's part of the problem. Dingleberry that we had on there. And then there's a little bit there. Josh pops in. Hey, welcome to the stream, Josh. Yeah, 11th edition is dropping, and that's going to be officially dropped. They got some of the stuff going on, so we'll see how this comes into play. Boy, they just didn't do me. They didn't do anybody any favors with this. Again, I am not happy. I'm challenged. Let's just put it that way. Some of you might say, yeah, mentally challenged. And to that I would respond, you're probably right. You know what I could do? I could spray this with activator. And then we could slowly but surely kind of put it on like that. Thing is, with the activator, once it's on, it is on. And that is how it goes. Okay, Crow. Josh says he's splitting the $300 set with a friend. Yeah, I saw that. They've got the, I'm here in Korea. So they've got the, the Space Marine Orc set. And yeah, there's a number of people that are going halvesies on that. So quite a few people, matter of fact. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just doing my Necron thing. So as you can see, we got some of them are coming out pretty well. This is going to, like I said, this is my first Necrons, first big army. I've painted little one-off stuff, you know, printed out on my own, but it's coming along. So we'll see. So we're just going to keep plugging on this. So I'm not going to jump into the Space Marine Orc pack, but it does look tempting. And I don't like orcs, but the more I see of the orcs, the more I'm interested in them, because they're just kind of orky. They're orky. I mean, do I got a big orc? Not really. Yeah, I do, kind of. I've got this guy, as far as this World of Warcraft dude. So I did him. This is resin printed, but I painted him with speed paints and everything. So he turned out really, really well. So you get a better look at him here. But I kind of like the orc thing, and the more I'm seeing the orcs on those guys there, yeah, tempting, very tempting. I think that's the biggest orc I've got. That's the only orc I've got. I've got a cave troll bust, but yeah. But I got to finish. I want to do my Necrons, get them finished, and then after that, maybe I'll do another. But I got to learn how to play. I don't even know how to play Warhammer. Okay, let's get back to the inevitable. So now we have this. He will be like that, and we need number 17. We still have parts. That's that. But I ordered, what did I order off Amazon for some more Necron stuff? And then this Hexmark destroyer, you know, I picked him up from the game store, local game store. So we've got him. And then we'll see how that goes. 17. Josh says, I love the idea of putting 2,000 points of orc cars, trucks, and bikes on the field. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. It's, I think Games Workshop did a good job with the orcs, because it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic Mad Max type of feel to it, and which I think is really cool. So I think that's and then they're orcs. I'm more and more I'm liking the orcs. Okay, now this got to go that. Is that where that goes? I think so. Kind of like that. So we'll see. John says, I think you'd have a good time playing. I hear Necrons being so up. Yeah. And honestly, I like the Necrons because not too many people where I'm at have them, and I think they look cool. And they reanimate, so I figured part of me was like, well, if I suck, okay, yeah, that's going to fit in there. Painting this is going to be a bear. Holy crap. But I figured with the reanimation protocols and things like that, if I suck, at least I got a better chance of not sucking as much because maybe some guys will get reanimated or whatever. Okay, now, but holy crow. Okay, so that's going to go there. I'll need a little dab of glue. Ooh, that's a lot. God bless. Seriously, mother. Hulk mad. Okay, get in the hole. Holy crow, just get in the hole. Okay, and a little bit of activator. Boom. And we've got one more. Oh, we're so close. So yeah, like I said, I still need to learn how to play Necrons, so that'll be interesting. And we've got 18. And then the only one left is 19 in the base. But yeah, watching some people play Warhammer is just like there's so many rules for, there's stages of play. And then on top of that, you have rules. Each little character has their own strengths and weaknesses and capabilities. And then there's stratagems, which is, I don't know, special strategies on how you play. And they're not all the same. And because each army has their own little thing going on. So yeah, it is quite the interesting. And then with the Necrons, it's like there's so many rules just for the reanimation. And then you have certain characters, like boss characters or whatever, that end up kind of like this guy here. And I don't even know what his name is. That's the bad thing. But yeah, they got all their different types of capabilities, and if they're attached to certain units, some of the have certain abilities with this guy that will spill over, and the units that are attached to him will, be a thing, and it's just like, holy crow, that was amazing. Okay, now we got another stupid little part that goes in there. It's going to look cool when it's done, but it's just, seriously, I got to get the geek glasses out. Okay. Now let's see how this. Seriously, get in the hole. Good Lord. Seriously. Oh, I think I see a problem. One of the other arms wasn't really in there. And so are you kidding me? Seriously? Good Lord, this is pissing me off. I think we have a problem because the other arm popped out of its socket a little bit. So I got to trim this and see. Sorry about that. Yeah, that other arm popped out. Plus, seriously, mother. Good Lord, that's going to be a pain in the... Seriously? Really? Seriously. Alrighty. Thank God for super glue. Let's put it this way, I'm glad we don't have to do like 20 of these or 10 of these. I think that's it. We're good. Jeez. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Why did my tablet go crappy? I gotta redo the tablet thing. Okay, back up we go. All right, we're back. Josh says, I think the core gameplay starts to come naturally after a while. The abilities for my specific army is that I'm trying to remember next. Yeah, that's what other guys are telling me as well. That it's just like you get the basic, like deploy, attack, defend, roll, learn how to do all that stuff, and then you start getting into the special characteristics of that. Ferris has said he sent an email with the photos. Cool. I'll check that out. We're almost done on this, so we will get there. 19 and the base. But I got to print out a new base. We're going to do a custom base like the other ones, because I want them all to be the same bases, or same type of bases. Yay! No more. Nothing. Empty. Zip zero. Nada. And this is just going to go on the base like that. I mean, this doesn't even have any like posts and holes on the bases like some of the old ones did, like the other ones did. Like my combat patrol, they'll have, like on this piece here, they would have a little peg sticking out, and then you'd have a corresponding hole on your base, so that way it would, you know, boom, like that. This one doesn't even have that. So, but we're going to do our own base. So I would say we are pretty much done. So you can see they turned out, for the most part, turned out well. Now we got to go to this camera. But it is the interesting little guy we got going on. So yeah. So I need a new base. So I need to go to the computer, but that will go like that. And then this could go on there somewhere if you're going to do that. But we're going to do our own custom bases. So let's take this base. We will need this so we can get the distance. And these bases that I made in Tinkercad allow for a magnet. So that way they can stick and do the whole sticky thing onto metal. So yeah, we'll have to print one of those out. So we'll take this with us, and there it is. We did our Hexmark destroyer. A little bit of angst and frustration, but we did it. What was the age for this? The age limit? The suggested age range? 12 and above. A little bit of angst and frustration for the little 12-year-old and up people. Just take this back over. I'll hit the desk. And we'll get back and we'll see if we can get that little base thing going. Okay. Wow. That was quite the interesting. A little bit of light there. Need all the help I can get. So anyway, we did our little Hexmark destroyer. Holy crow, was that guy was fun. What we could end up doing is we could take a look at our bases, and we'll see how that goes. So recent projects. I've been working on a bench system. There's my topper bases. Value, discard. I'll just discard. We'll just do a new thing. I'll see what pops up here. So anyway, yeah, thank God I don't have to do a lot of those guys. So good, so good. So these are my topper bases. that we can take a look at. Yeah, simplify model. I got it. I really wish the little warning or things that they add would be down at the bottom instead of populating basically the whole frame. But these I ended up doing a 0.2 layer height, which turned out good. And then I think those are the same as well. Yeah, 0.2, 3 wall loops, which I probably 7% infill gyroid, blah, blah, blah. Support, and tree auto default, blah, blah, blah. But here, so those are the bases, and I need to figure out what is the distance across. So we're looking at approximately 50, 49. Looks like it's about, yeah, there's 50, 49. So let's make another one of these. And we'll get one of those, and we'll clone that. I'll drag him over here. And then what we can end up doing is we can do some measurements and see what we got. So I'll measure it from one side to the other. That's going to be 60. Here's another thing I wish that you could do, that you could leave the measurement tool open while you do the scale, but you still kind of do the same thing. So the X and the Y is 64, and we need this to be, we don't want to do a uniform scale because I still want it to be 5 high. So that way we can put the magnet in there. And let me double check this. Again, what was this? 49. Let's make that 49. And we'll do this one at 49. And that should be our topper. But it's going to mess up our hole for our magnet, right? Seriously? Yeah, that's going to mess up our hole for a magnet, isn't it? Because if we move this to 49, yep, it sure is. We're going to have to go back to Tinkercad and do another one. But with the toppers, what we can end up doing is we can kind of pick one of these. And what are we looking for scale on that? So those are 49.6. So we could end up doing, these don't really matter because there's no magnet. It's just a flat on that side. So this can actually work. So we can get one of these. Which one do we want to do? Or we could do them crawling on something like that. Or like that. No, I don't want to do that. And then we've got something like that. That could be interesting. Skeleton, I think we'll do that one there. Or that one, or that one. You do that one. It's got a little bit of a raised thing on there. Well, I don't know. Maybe that one. I don't know. We're going to have to go to Tinkercad. So what we'll end up doing, we'll go back to here, and then I'll bring up this, and I'll bring up the Tinkercad and see if we can get that going on. I'll take a look at, I've got like 82 designs. Crystal skulls, blah, 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 blah. Guess we can do that. And I think it's under crystals and skulls. Maybe that's it. We'll see. Oh, and there are some. No, that's not it. That is not it. Okay, so we need to go back. It's not that one. Shields and frames. Magnetic base encounter. I think this one's it right here. We'll see. Yep. Okay, so now notice I actually got organized. Actually did all this and organized a little bit. So we got there's a 50. It's kind of small, so we're doing 49, so 50 would work. Let's go ahead and we'll copy that, and I'll bring that over here. And let's take this down. It's got a place for 2 magnets, but honestly, I think we could probably just get away with 1. Yeah. Just copy that one and we'll bring that over. And then what we could end up doing here, we don't need that. We'll disassemble that. And we've got our hole there. We can drag that away. And then now we can look at the thing on this, and we could make this 49. So let's go ahead and shift click. We'll do 49. And we should be good to go. And then we could just select both of these together. I'll click on that one to put it into the center. Oh. Something is amiss. Something is amiss. What is that? 5. That doesn't look like 5. Yeah, that's why. Because it wasn't 5. Like that. Now we can end up doing is we'll select both of these. We'll go ahead and do our centering. And both of those, we'll join those together. That'll preserve the hole that we have. And then this should get us to the point of, so that's 49 across there, which should be good. And then on the top, 45, 46, 47 should be from the edge to edge. So let's just do a little cheat thing here. I'll just kind of do and then we'll bring this across like so. And a little bit more. $46.5, and this is, I think that's it. I think we're balls on. We are good. let me just double check, and we'll line this up and make sure. Yep. Good enough for government work. So we can get rid of that. This, we'll go ahead and flip this over. We'll make sure that's on the deck. And now what we can end up doing is taking this and we can export it. We'll make it as an STL. Boom, that pops up, and we'll make this a 49 Hexmark destroyer base. So that way we know what we're doing, and then we can go back to this, and we can get rid of that. Yep. And then I'll take this over here, drag this in, and there is our base. So we're good to go. I always want to make sure that when I put this stuff on the base of the build plate, that it is on that surface, because sometimes in Tinkercad it has some problems, so I might have to drop it down like one layer, but I know that these work. So we should be good to go. And I'm going to bring this towards the front. And this is going to be printed in Polymaker Gray. I know it says it's black, but it's actually going to be Polymaker Gray because I just changed out a spool. I ordered filament, but I usually I'd use black, but I accidentally selected gray. So we'll have to deal with that. Let's see. Hey, I wonder if I can take my, and if we slice this, boom, let's see what we get. 8 minutes, 11 seconds, 5 grams. It's going to cost me 11 cents. Gotta love it. Ooh, here's something I wanted to try. See how we got that white line there? Those are the seams. And I think what we can end up doing, where did the little search thing go? Oh, there it is. Seam position, seam scarf. I think it's the seam position is the deal. We don't want fuzzy skin. Where is the seam? This is not helping me. I want to do an individual object. Seam position align. We can do random. And then that will put the seam in different, so it's not like one pronounced line. So we've got random, align back, assemble. What does assemble do? No, we don't want assemble. Nearest? Let's see what nearest does. I don't like that because you still got little, that's where the random's going to come into play. So I think that's what we want there. So now the question is, will my camera work? The phone? Oh, it does work. Okay. Dun-dun-dun. Okay, so now, you know what I can do? I can try this. Hang in there. Hang in there. Everybody's like, what the hell is he doing? Let me see if I can try this new thing. And like that. wearing the camera around my neck. Okay, so since we were going to put this in the center there, and we'll come over here, Gravity K2 Plus, and we're rocking some Polymaker Light PLA, and I'll just kind of throw on a little bit of glue stick. I really need to get one of those cold plates. People are telling me about those, and those are just really incredible. I know somebody's going to say, oh, if you just clean your build plate, it'll stay fine, it'll attach, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, let me make sure I've got that. Yep, I did a test, so we're good. So now we go back to the room. Yes, we'll see how this goes. And then we'll go back to this. This is like one of the few times I've actually used this. So it seems kind of cool. I don't know. You know what? I need to make like a hook to where I can hang this somewhere. Or I can just hang it right there. Alrighty. So what we can end up doing is we can go back to our desktop, and we'll go back to Crowley Print, and we'll see if we can crank this out real quick. Ferrithus says, whenever I have adhesion problems, I just bump up the bed temp by 5. It usually solves it. Yeah, it's weird because it goes back and forth for me. Sometimes I'll do prints, I'll clean it, the whole 9 yards, dish soap and everything is good to go. And then some prints, it has problems. Like I cleaned that build plate, and what I ended up doing is printing out a benchy because, again, new filament, I want to make sure that everything was working. And then it actually popped off the plate. So it's like, I don't know if it's losing some of the, something off the top of the build plate, because I've got over 2,000 hours on printing. But yeah, maybe I should bump that up. 210, 50. Let's bump that up by 5. Filament. Down. Nozzle temp, bed temp. First layer 55. I'm assuming that's going to be a textured PEI. Well, wait a second. I'll do that. Textured. I am using textured. 50, first layer, other layers. Ferris says, are you cleaning with water and soap? If so, make sure you rinse it with water really well. Soap makes the surface non-stick. Yeah, I scrub it with like a real good dish soap, and then get all that stuff on there, and then I use some really hot water, and then I'll scrub it and rinse it. So yeah, it's just kind of an odd little thing there. 55 other layers should be good. First layer is 55. Yeah, I should be okay. As long as I get the first layer in there, I think I'll be all right. Besides, it's a little topper. I think we're good to go on that. So, no, we're not going to use the CFS. We're just going to do the little thing there. We did our little glue stick. I'm probably going to get a BIC-Q cold plate. Had a number of people just swear on them, So maybe I'll get one of those. We'll see how that. Oh no, we're out. And that will commence the printing. So yeah, so that's what we got going on. Do the little Hexmark thing. So that's working out well. Other things we're looking at, like I said, as you saw in there, you know, we got that little kitchen island thing that my printer is setting up on. And then what we're going to end up having is a series of cabinets and a tabletop. So I get like 60 centimeters on this end, and two 80s, and then another 60, and then 220 countertops. So, and that'll pretty much fill up that one wall where the printer is sitting. And then I'll use the thing that the printer is sitting on now for the resin printing workstation. So, yeah, I thought I was going to get another one of the kitchen ones. I guess we can just go ahead. Let me see. Where's my... Go ahead and do this. I'll show you. So the whole idea was to get another one of those and have it over here. So that way, if I have two printers, boom, I'd be good to go. They don't make this anymore. I can't find this anymore. So that's what I'm going to end up doing, is getting the IKEA cabinets going across basically to where the window's at, to about right there. So have like a 60, an 80, an 80, and another 60, and then the two tops on there, that'll be 120 each. So I think that'll look really good. If I could find like a 240 tabletop and just have that like a counter, a one-piece counter, that would be awesome. So, but I'm gonna have to do that in stages. So I'll get a 60, I'll get the 80, and then the countertop, and we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, you can kind of see how it's got some areas where it's kind of, I think it's actually losing some of the coating on there. So, yeah, I might have to pull out this plate here. Of course, I need to clean that one as well. But eventually we'll get this whole thing going. But yeah, we're coming to you live from our, this is the apartment complex that we're in here in Korea. So you can see all that. It is nice. Everything's nice and quiet. Beautiful, beautiful. And then there's my little hose adapter. And let's see. Yeah, I like seeing this first line to make sure that it prints good. And get that first layer. This looks like it's doing okay. Let's make that 55. So not too bad. Okay. We seem to be doing good. Alrighty, we'll come back here. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, there's the paint station and everything. So yeah, good stuff. Dun, dun, dun. George says, nice view out the window. Yeah, it is. We got a really, really good deal on this apartment. I think it was like, we bought it at a discount, and it was like $40,000 or $50,000 less than the regular people. They were motivated sellers. And then, of course, the now real estate is still going up here in Korea, so we're sitting good. It was a good investment. Fairmouth says mine has a few spots like that from printing PEEK, which prints at 350 with a super hot bed temp. Yeah, interesting. I think I think what it is that that plate is just it's time for a replacement. So I'm going to try a cold plate. Of course, then I do have that other one. I'll probably use that one, but I'll probably order a BitQ cold plate and see how that goes. Matter of fact, you know, we can end up doing. We can do our little cam. Nope, that's not going to work. We need to do an overlay. Camera widgets, screen share, overlay. That's what I want. There we go. We got to clean this up a little bit. Make the border width small. We'll make it a little bit of a green color since we're doing the Necron thing. And then we can do our K2 Plus cam. And we'll kind of make this like so. And then we can make that. So we can see what's going on with our print. So that way we can keep an eye on our print to see how well that's doing. But yeah, the BitQ plate, that is something I need to take a look at. Matter of fact, I can pull that up on Amazon and see K2 Plus cold plate. BitQ, there it is. Double-sided. Excuse me. K2 Plus. They got excuse me. So they got a Glacier and a Frostbite. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Frostbite is the one I want. But then they have another one that just popped up that is not from BitQ, but it's only like $35. But it's only got 9 reviews. Okay, never mind. No. So we'll go with the Frostbite one. So we'll see how that goes. Let's take a look at the desktop and we see what we got here. Oh, you can see it already. We'll just do this. So kind of look at that. PLA 30 to 50. Wow. Zero heat delivers unparalleled adhesion for PLA and PETG, room temperature, reduce warping, large prints, blah, blah, blah. No glue required. No glue would be nice. Let's see what's the next one looking like. Clog free. But that's interesting. 30 to 50. I'll have to do some tests and see compatibility, blah, 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 easy removal. Yeah. Okay. For the K2 Plus, we got that, and I think we should be good to go. So we'll kind of throw that. Let's go ahead and we'll throw that into the cart. Got some other stuff that I'm going to order, but what else does it have? Adhesion, double-sided, energy saving, room temps, no more clog. Why would it say no more clog? It must mean that the filament goes on the build plate and doesn't get caught up in the nozzle and clog up the nozzle and have the blob of death. Reduced power because you can print at lower temperature. Okay, got that. And Ferrithus pops up and says, formulated for PLA, I think. Not sure how they work with other materials. Here's an interesting, so it's got a chart. No adhesion required. May require adhesion. Adhesive recommended. So let's see what we got here. So the frostbite is the one. So PLA and CF, carbon fiber. Do we need grip strength? GI index. GI index for the frostbite is 10 for PLA and carbon fiber. PETG seems like that is good for PETG and carbon fiber. And then also ABS. Ooh, that's nice. And then the glacier. So you got standard, frostbite, and glacier. So the frostbite is the one I'm going to get. But this one has grip strength index of 8. But then it does, you can pretty much do a lot of other stuff on that. So water and soap only as far as cleaning. So yeah, the frostbite looks like that's a good one. And adhesion, okay, 1 to 6, 7 and 8 is good. 9 to 10 is extreme. Do not use a brim. Okay, nice. That's good. So there's the little thing there. Is it done already? Seriously? It is done already. It was 8 minutes. Boom. Oh, that was quick. So there is our, there it is, right there. We're good to go. Nice, nice. Came out fabulous. So the frostbite, cold print material, PLA, PETG, ABS for 10. So 30 to 50, PETG, 50 to 70, not compatible with other than PLA, PETG, or ABS. Dedicated plate to print those things only. So that actually looks pretty good. And then if you're going to do this other stuff, easy cleaning. Okay, I think it's going to be good. Nice. I think we did good. I think we did good. And then, like I said, there is our base. A little bit of angle to it. Got a spot for a magnet. So you know what we can end up doing as we go over here. Marry it up. Ooh, so close. It is almost perfect. That's perfect on the top there. Good, good. Now we need some magnets. Where are my magnets? These are 8x3s. That should fit in there just like so, which is good. So I'll just put a little dab of super glue in there. That's a little bit much. Honesty. There we go. I think we're good. And then we'll just put that in there like that. Oh, seriously. And it's got a little bit of a raised thing, so I just put it on the table and then just press it down. And boom, we are good to go on that. So yeah, that'll be perfect. So we're good to go on that. So now, you know what, I'll just put those right there. Now what we can end up doing is going and And we will print out our topper. So, since we've got that, we can do that one next. And we'll drop on over to the desktop here again. All of the coffee is gone. Very concerned. We'll move this over here. And, you know what we want to do? I'm wondering what type of terrain we could do with this guy. Ooh, I think this will be good. So we've got this piece here. So it's got like 3 layers. We could do something like that. Of course, it'll be smaller, but I think that'll look really good. Ah, son of a bitch. Okay. So, did anything break? No, nothing broke. Okay. Just throwing shit around. Yeah, I think that 3 will work. I think I like that. So it'll be kind of an angled type of top that we see there. So I think that'll be good. And there's only one of them. So yeah, let's do one of those. So yeah, that one. And we'll just clone that. And we'll drag this over here. And then let's put the face on there. And then we need to resize this. So, you know what I'm going to do? Let's change some colors. And that way, now we can go ahead and do the scale. And this was what, 49 is what it was? I gotta double check. That top, because some of them were a little bit, so it's like 46. Yeah, 46. So 46 and 46. And I want to reduce that, let's say 10. And we'll see how that goes. I'll do a little bit of movement here. And we'll see how that looks. I think that'll be good. Get a little bit around the edge. I don't know. Maybe 47. Let's try that. 47. 47. And we can split the difference. And if we end up doing movement and bringing that up, it'll be about like that. So I think we will be okay. So let's see what happens. Is it going to let me do it? No, it's not. Because I need a little bit of, I don't know what that weird thing is. I think that'll be good. That'll be good enough for government work. Maybe 48. So I'll have a little bit over the edge. 47.5. I think that's good. We'll be able to, yeah, I think that'll work. 47.5 will work. Okay, good, good. And so now we'll just bring this over here. We'll do the same thing. Put them basically the same spot. We'll just drag that over there. And we'll zoom in. We'll slice the plate up. Should only take about 8 minutes. Oh, 30 minutes. Ooh. 15 cents. So that's not bad. Let's see what it'll look like on the bottom. Oh yeah, it's got that weird, yeah, the bottom of these, I forgot. The bottom of these aren't solid. Okay, whatever, that's fine. It's just going to go on the top anyway. So, but if I change this to, yeah, we'll just 0.16. Let's see what that does. But I wanted to change that. 0.16. Now I slice the plate and we'll see how long that takes because it was 30 minutes. We'll see what happens. This is going to be 35 minutes, but we'll get a few more details in there. Still going to cost 15 cents. I think we can do that. I think we should be good to go. So that way the little skeletons come out a little bit more pronounced. And I think we're good. Yeah, it's got that weird base to it. It's not solid. I don't know why whoever made that, but I get it. I mean, it's heavy enough as it is, so. Let's go ahead and send it. Boom. And we should be good to go. And I think that'll be a pretty cool looking base on that. And the good thing is I can spray this, do a quick airbrush job with the base coat of the kind of like the Art Deco silverish lead belcher black pearl type of color that I use for the base color of all of them. Well, I got to do black primer. So I'll do a little spray can primer on it. Boom, knock that out. Then we'll do the base color. And then we could go back and what we'll end up doing is we'll dry brush this with a little bit of Art Deco gold. And that's what I did with the other ones. And then there's an insane amount of detail on this. This is going to be an interesting character to do. Especially with all the hoses on the back that are going to be green. Wow, that is going to be a pretty wild looking. Going to be a pretty wild looking guy. So, yeah. Dun-dun-dun. So yeah, that's what we got going over. I'll just kind of do the same thing. Do our little K2 Plus cam keep an eye on things. Excuse me. So yeah, I think that'll work out good. Yes. Let me go grab something to drink. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. Breakfast burrito. Thank you. Must hydrate. Must hydrate. Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a picture of that little guy sitting on top of his doing his little thing, and we all do that. Boom. And then that way we can throw this up on the screen a little bit. And we'll crop him up a little bit. Do that. That. And we should be good to go. We'll drop this off at our computer. And boom. There's that. We'll pop him up there. Holy crow, that is huge. So there was our Hexmark. So he is turning out well. So yeah. A little pain in the ass putting them together for a little bit, but yeah, good stuff, good stuff. So anyway, we've got that. This one will be good. And then the wraiths, I've got to do. The Doomstalker is turning out pretty good. So that is coming along well. So on the Doomstalker there, and of course we have the ding, we have the LED green light. So that's kind of cool. But you can see some of the details. We're getting some more colors in there. I did more on the base. So that is looking, I'm really digging that. But yeah, this is turning out pretty good. So, especially the little green LED light there, and just had printed out a little battery case with a little watch battery in there. So yeah, it turned out good. Not bad. Still needs a lot more painting. And then these guys are going to be interesting. These guys here, because I've got like 4 of those. And so painting them will, and these are 3D printed. Of course, I don't have the magnet on here. So we're gonna have to drill a hole and go old school on that. But the details came out pretty nice, if you can see there. But looking from the tabletop, you know. So we got some more painting to do on this. And those will be good. Again, I got to drill the holes for those, so it's a good thing I took a look at that. So that'll be the next project that we end up doing. Those are probably going to have to take, because they're a bit top heavy. So we're probably going to need 2 magnets with those, just to be safe. I would rather have too many than not enough. So yeah, we'll just throw 2 magnets on there and we should be good to go. But yeah, turned out pretty good. Pretty good. I think we're doing well. So yeah, just kind of put a little perspective on some of this stuff. There we go. So that's what we got going on. Let's see, what else do we got going on? Oh, Ferretus said he sent me an email with his sleeve. He also says that they're looking really good. Yeah, they're coming along. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you mind if I show people your tattoo? I'm looking at it. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's see if we can drag this in there. Seriously, what am I doing? Can I do that? Nope. Nope, I don't want that. I can do this, that. Playing with some technical stuff here. And so we've got that going on. That's kind of interesting. Interesting. Yeah, with mine, I think what I'm going to end up doing, what is it? It's this one here. It's going to be a full cover up. It's probably going to be really dark because I want to go dark with that. Of course, cover up, you're going to have to go dark anyway. Cool. Nice, nice. Cool. So again, kind of maybe a Viking Warhammer type of theme-ish. We'll see what happens. I don't know. That's on top of all the other stuff that costs money that I want to do as well. It's like, let's see. Can we zoom in on this a little bit more? I think we can. With our K2 Plus cam, printing the base for our Hexmark destroyer. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think this base will look really good with that. We get some good details on it and we should be good to go. It'll be an interesting base. So Ferretus says sleeves cost money and time. This one costs about 17 hours. Ooh, wow. Yeah, that's the only bad thing about it. they cost money. So what do you expect? But that's the problem, is that it gets to a point of where it's kind of like, seriously? I'm having some minor technical difficulties here. Okay. Yeah, time isn't too bad, because you could do like a 4-hour or 5-hour sitting, 6 hours. 6 hours gets a little old. But you could do, 3 or 4 of those. That's not a big deal. But the healing process and all that, and then of course, a little bit of pain that's associated. Holy crow. I'll let you know. All the tats, especially like along here on the underside of the arm, holy crow, there's a lot of nerves there. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some numbing cream when I get my cover up done. There is no shame in my game. I'm going to be using numbing cream. So yeah, we'll be doing that eventually, maybe one of these days. So the big thing is going to be getting the counters, base cabinets 60 centimeter and 80 centimeter, and then of course the countertop for that, and then the other stuff. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be money. Faritha says, well, she sits in Germany, so it's going as long as possible, 7 hours at a time. Inside of the elbow and outside of the bicep were excruciatingly painful. Yes, I know the feeling, and that's why when I do my cover-up sleeve, oh yes, we're going to be doing numbing cream to the max. It's going to be, and the cool thing is, like tattoo numbing cream, you put it on, then you wrap it with the cellophane, and then let it sit for an hour, so it really bakes in and soaks and gets in there, the lidocaine or whatever they use as that numbing agent, and then boom, zip off quick to the tattoo artist, and have them go to town. Matter of fact, there's a new tattoo shop that just opened up close to where we live, and I haven't looked at any of his work, but we'll see what happens. But there's one guy that I want to do, but good Lord, he's expensive. And it took like, we've been here 4 years, and trying to get, tell him, this one guy, what I wanted done and what would be the estimated cost, and he would never tell me. He says, well, if you want a good tattoo, you get a good tattoo. And it's like, there's award-winning tattoo artists in the United States that will give you a rough estimate of how much it's going to cost. It's, could you imagine going to a store and saying, hey, well, how much is this? And there's no price tag. Well, if you want a good one, you're going to have to pay for a good one. Okay, I understand that. How much is it? Well, we can't tell you. You're just going to have to get it and then pay. And it's like, that didn't make sense. So for the last, I'd say 2.5 years, this one guy wouldn't ever tell me and give me a rough estimate. Well, I don't really know what it entails. And it's like, here's pictures and here's kind of a rough idea of what I want. Give me an estimate. I said, there's tattoo artists in the States, and I realize I'm not in the United States. But he's like, well, a good tattoo is worth its weight in gold and all this stuff. And it's like, if I was buying a Bugatti, they would tell me the price of the Bugatti. If I was buying a Ferrari or a Porsche or, whatever it is, they would tell me the base price. Okay, so give me the base price. How much are we looking at here? And yeah, for like 2.5 years, he wouldn't give a price. And so I kind of blew that off. So I'm searching for some other ones. But yeah, and here in Korea, it's a little less expensive. Of course, that's dependent on the artist too. I've seen artists say, oh, it'll be $1,700, but their work is for shit. Yeah, I would never get that sleeve done by them. So, yeah, it's just want to find a good artist, do a good job, full sleeve, and then maybe, I've got this here, maybe get a second sleeve done. But again, that's money. That's money. Money that could be going to cabinets and 3D printers and filament and all the things that I want to do. Yeah. But I definitely want to get this one done. So, and then ultimately, I think the 2 sleeves would be good. I think 2 sleeves would be good. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 chest pieces. If money was not an object, I would get the sleeve, chest, and back. But yeah, we haven't won the lottery yet. We played a couple times. There is a lottery here in Korea, but we tried a couple of times and we haven't won. So yeah, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I'll probably never win the lottery. And then I think this next week we're going to be, where is it? So this Tuesday, a couple days from now, we're going to be checking out on some apartments. So that's going to be the priority there. Tattoo's not going to be the priority. So it's going to be apartments, 3D printing stuff and cabinetry, or cabinetry and 3D printing stuff. And then tattoo is kind of way down low on the list. Ferrith says I got a sleeve and my upper back tattooed so far. Cool, cool. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's see, can we zoom in on this a little bit more? I think we can. So we can keep an eye on that. So yeah, that is some fun stuff. And eventually I want to get the sleeve done, at least one sleeve done. Ultimately, I'd like to get the other one done as well. And then I think I'd be good for quite some time because I'm 60. I mean, good Lord. I think after that I'd be done, honestly. I think one sleeve would be good, but honestly, if I really had the money, I'd do both and then I'd be done. So there's that. What is some of the other stuff that's going on? What about that crazy stuff going on in Ireland? Holy crow. Did you see that news? They had that Irish guy and the immigrant or refugee or whatever it was tried to cut his head off, mounted on top of him and like, holy crow. And I guess Ireland has been up in arms. They're having riots and trying to kick out the refugees and that whole 9 yards. That is just insane. And now the Prime Minister of Ireland is talking about, hey, well, next week we're going to come out with a thing that says you can't. I mean, they're stifling free speech. So I guess they're going to try to make it a criminal offense to do social media and say, hey, look at what's going on. We're demonstrating against, unchecked crime, and which is insane. That just blows my mind. And the fact that you have so many similar instances of people getting raped, young girls and women getting raped by foreigners, and the crime rate is going up in a lot of that, and people getting attacked with machetes, and it's like, holy crow, how in the world is that even being allowed? I mean, I've already gotten word from a number of people in Europe that are saying that these people that came over to these countries, most of them 18 to 35 males, and there were prisoners. So somebody opened up their prisons and just shuffled them off onto all the other countries. And similar to what happened in the United States, for those of you who don't remember, way back in the day, was it Carter? Or the Carter administration or Reagan? I can't remember which one. But Cuba, down south of Florida, emptied out all of their prisons and basically shipped everybody to Florida. And everybody claimed refugee status when actually it was like, you had gangbangers, basically drug runners, violent criminals, and the like that had done all sorts of horrible things, claimed to be political prisoners and refugees from Cuba. And that just flooded Florida and the crime went up. And that's what we're seeing, unfortunately, in a lot of other places in Europe. Just not good. When you can't vet who you're getting because they're claiming refugee status, and a lot of these places, they don't even have IDs. So there's no way to vet and say, oh, my name is so-and-so, but you don't have anything to check. You can't do criminal background check unless, he's a high-level terrorist. But, you can't check for prison records. You just have to take them at their word. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is a lot of crime in these places, not only in the United States, but a lot of European countries. And it's just insane. And unfortunately, Ireland is holy crow. And I'm just amazed at the crap that's going on. I don't invite people into my house without knowing who they are. So why would countries do that and say, oh, well, and then it's even happening here in Korea to some degree. It's getting to the point of where people are showing up to Korea, refugees, and saying, well, you have to take me. It's almost like they think it's their right that just because they're a refugee, that Korea has to automatically accept them and put them on welfare and subsidize their housing and blah, 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 all that other stuff, food stamps or, it just welfare benefits. It just amazes me. It's like, no, just because you claim to be a refugee doesn't mean that goes against and that trumps all the immigration laws of countries. Countries are well within their rights to say, nope, sorry. There's, and the problem comes from not normal everyday people that are actually refugees and, having problems, families, good people. We're talking about people that are extremists that are coming into countries which you have no way of knowing who they are. And if they're 18 to 35 and they're males and they have no family, yeah, that's sus. It's just like, yeah, and a lot of them are criminals, straight up. Somebody's emptied out their prison. And the fact is that you have something like 50 to 55 or 53 or 57 different Muslim countries, dedicated Muslim countries, and none of them want any of these refugees. What does that tell you? It means if you take them, you're an idiot, in my opinion. So I don't know. It is just absolutely crazy. Dun, dun, dun. Terry says they have set fire to several facilities where the immigrants are living. I'm afraid that Ireland and Scotland will only get worse. Yeah, it'll get worse before it gets better. That's if it gets better. I don't think it will. I think you've got too many criminals. You invited the fox in the hen house, and once they're in and they claim, well, I'm here, and you granted me permission to be here, now you need to do what I say. And it's like, the thing that gets me is the part where they commit horrendous crimes and then they're kind of let off the hook because, they come from a different culture. They're culturally different. No, grape is grape. Attacking somebody with a sharp pointy thing is not a cultural difference. Well, in my country, that's how we do it. Well, so we don't do that here. So yeah, and on one hand, if you want to immigrate to a country, do so legally, and you're fully vetted and you have means in which to support yourself, kind of like what we did here in Korea, I'm all for that. But when you start claiming, hey, look at the United States. When you have places like Minnesota and stuff like that, where the majority of those refugees are in welfare, and then none of them work, it's just absolutely insane. Ned Venom says, I was living in Florida at the time of the Cuban boat issue. It was really tough times in Miami and Tampa. Yeah. George says the government, their gas protected them. Yeah, it's just... And when let's say if somebody commits a crime, if they're a citizen of that country and they get like a max punishment or close to max punishment for the crime that they committed, and then you have an immigrant or a refugee that commits the exact same crime, but they get like a fourth of the punishment, or even if they get punished at all, that is a severe injustice. And that's just not, that is wrong. And it doesn't matter, especially if it's a serious crime. Rape, assault with deadly weapon and so on and so forth. One of your own citizens, you'll nail them to the wall. But for one of these people, because they're from a different culture, you're going to probation. I saw some that got probation for raping children. And it's like that. If that was my daughter, if that happened to my kid, I would be in prison. That's all I have to say. Because if the government isn't going to give justice, somebody will. And that just pisses me off. I couldn't imagine looking at the face of my daughter if she had to go through something like that and not do anything. Somebody would have to pay. And that's just the way it is. It's just absolutely insane. Um, but there, I guess that's why I like the hobby stuff, is it gets my mind off of the craziness that is going on in the world. It's like, holy crow. Um, I don't know. It just, and we get a little bit of that here in Korea. Japan is having problems with that, with refugees and stuff like that. Crimes are going up and so on and so forth. The interesting thing is with the current president of Korea, he's a little bit left leaning, and I'm an independent. Again, a lot of people might not know that, but I'm in the middle, so I like good ideas from both sides. But the president here is a little bit left leaning, and they're really, really pushing more foreign workers because they don't have enough Koreans, young Koreans that want to do those type of jobs. So that's kind of problematic in the fact that they're pushing so hard. And I don't know, will that have an effect on crime? Will crime go up? Or are we going to get good people from other countries and they're just going to work and provide, save money, send it back to their families, and be productive citizens? Hopefully that's the case. But if the rest of the world is any indication, it doesn't look good. So keeping my fingers crossed on that, and we'll see what happens there. So I don't know. It'll be quite the interesting thing that we got going on. I think for our generation, like I said, I'm 60. I think, like my daughter's age, she's in her 30s. It's gonna be more of a problem, and then the generation following hers, they're gonna have some issues. They're gonna have some big issues. George says we have a different problem firing up in the U.S. that worries me. Terry talks about, he says they built a mosque in Japan without permission and just opened it up. Japan is going to demolish it. Don't they have like two? Isn't there like two mosques that they built without permission, without permits? And actually the second one is actually, they I guess they tore out a bunch of forest, which is something they weren't supposed to do. And of course they weren't supposed to build it anyway. Yeah, if I was king for a day, I'd just be like, that's it. You're all out. Bye. You're gone. That is so problematic. And then the other thing that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about is that mosque was built, wasn't supposed to, no permits, and yet it got built. So there's some Japanese people that are involved in that. They should be punished for that as well, because they did work that was unauthorized. So yeah, somebody got paid. Somebody got paid to build, a lot of people got paid to build that place that wasn't supposed to be built, that they didn't get permission to build. So you got to pay the price, So yeah, it's just gonna be really, really rough. It's just, if you don't see the writing on the wall, yeah. And again, that's why I'm for borders. It's just like we got a lock on our house, and I'm very particular on who we invite into our house. And if you don't pass the vetting process, it's very rare that we have people over at our place. But you imagine if somebody just popped up, you go grocery shop and you come up and then there's these weird people in your house that you didn't invite in here. They're eating your food, they're, using your stuff, and they're, wearing shoes inside the house and making the whole place dirty. It'd be like, hello, what the hell are you doing here? You wouldn't put up with that. I don't care how left you are or how right you are. In your own home, there's no way you would do that. Well, actually, I did remember reading a news article where some lady in the UK actually did that. She took in a refugee, and then the refugee started roughing her up and all that stuff. And then she couldn't get rid of him. And then she had to leave because he was being so criminal. She thought that if she opened up her home to that refugee, that people are people and we're all good inside. We're all good deep down inside. It's like, no, we're not. I've worked in prisons, and no, they're not. Criminals are criminals. Um, Terry says Japan isn't allowing any halal restaurants. What? You're serious? That's wild. Let me see if I can. I gotta check that out. I'll pull up the Grok and see what Grok says. Where is it? There we go. Yep. Did Japan not allow in Japan? We'll see what happens. That one just came out a couple days ago on YouTube. We'll see what happens. Here's what Grok says. Holy crow. No, Japan does not allow halal restaurants. There is no ban or prohibition on halal restaurants in Japan. Or it does allow restaurants. The country is secular and has been actively promoting Muslim-friendly tourism for years to attract more visitors. They do exist. You can find certified options. There's no dedicated apps. What might be seen as limited. The halal certified places are still relatively few compared to the number of overall, and they're concentrated in big cities. Outside urban areas, so according to Grok, it says no. So I don't know. And if something's on YouTube, it's kind of like, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Let me copy that. Let's try ChatGPT. I'll see what that comes up. See what ChatGPT says about that. And maybe we'll get a different answer. I don't know. It's just so hard going through and trying to find... Really? Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Sign in, do this, do that. Now we're going to do it. Okay. Oh, and now I don't want to upgrade. Oh, it says the same thing. So I don't know. That might be misinformation. I don't know. So I'll have to look into that. Keep an eye out on that. I would have a hard time dealing with that, thinking that would be true, just based off of being here in Korea. And then there's a lot of places that pop up that are halal certified and so on and so forth. I don't know. If you don't want to eat pork, that's fine. Jews don't eat pork. They don't eat the unclean animal things, and I'm, very well versed in the Torah and things like that, and some of the Levitical laws and how all that works. Did a lot of deep dive into that stuff, so I'm really familiar with that. But yeah, I don't know. But when you start saying you can't have pets because they offend me, and it's like you move into the neighborhood and I walk my dog every day, then you say that offends you, and I shouldn't be allowed to walk my dog in my own neighborhood, in my own country, then we're going to have problems. Or where they say you can't listen to music because the music is outlawed under some Muslim sects of their religion, and it's like, you're telling me to turn the music down, or whatever it is, or, they take offense of elevator music and so on and so forth. It's just like, that is insane. It's just like, you know what? There's 50 some odd Muslim countries. Maybe you need to go back and move to one of those places. it's going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting. Anyway, we got about a minute left on our topper here. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, Hexmark destroyer. We did that guy there. We're printing up the base like there. And, well, we did the base. Now we're doing the topper onto the base. And it is almost done. Almost done. We'll see how that goes. I think we can end up doing. Can we do the camera phone? No. It's going to do the camera phone again. Add. Nope. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just kind of an odd thing. So I'll just have to pull it off the plate and bring it in here, and we'll take a look at that. So what we can do that. But with the topper, I'll have to paint the topper. I'll put it onto the base, and then we'll paint the topper, and of course we got to paint the Hexmark guy. But yeah, we're good to go. Got our magnet, and boom. Do I have anything metal? Yep. So yeah, should be good to go. Oh yeah. This is really, really light. That shouldn't be a problem. One magnet will be good enough. So that's the other thing, is if I start playing, I'm probably going to have to get a carrying case, you know, one of the nice carrying cases, and we should be good to go. And are we done? I think we're almost done. It says we got 0 minutes left. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. So close, so close. There it goes. Boom. And let's go get it. Dude, oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. 7 grams. And we'll pull that as it falls on the floor. And get off those little things there. Get that off, and oh yeah, that's gonna look good. That is gonna be nice. Supports off of there. And there is our base. So yeah, came out pretty good. That'll be good. And then have him, as I drop him again, we'll have to and do something like that, so that he's kind of climbing up the steps. If I can get that. Like so. Damn it. Seriously? That topper is so close. So yeah, that'll look pretty cool. I'll have to trim that little piece off of his leg, but that'll be good. Yeah, we just need to trim that little piece off and he'll fit. And, ooh, yeah, that'll be good. George pops up and says, I still find it funny how much more you use the sonic knife than you thought you would. Matter of fact, that ultrasonic blade is, you know what? It has come in way more handy than I know what to do with. matter of fact, and this thing has been great. This Hozo blade has been, I got it as a review item. The company I contacted the company to see if I could do a review. They acquiesced to my request. And let me see, Hozo ultrasonic cutter. And what I'll do is I'll pop up the, it's a little expensive. Let me get it off of Korean, and we want US dollars. TU, United States, where is it? Okay, boom, there we go. And Neoblade. Well, let's just go to the main page. I'll just give you the main page. And I'll put that down in the Hozo Neo Blade. And that's just a regular, I don't have affiliate links or anything, but boom, there it is in the comment section. But they've got Neo Sander. Ooh, that's something. They have a Neo. Let's take a look. I haven't been on their website in a minute. So there it is. So they've got a Neo Sander, reciprocating detail sander. That's new. You got the Neo Blade, Neo Ruler, whatever, calipers, and a Neo Block. I've got the Neo Block. It's basically like a sanding block. You have a round circular piece of sandpaper, and it goes around a block, and it's okay. But the Neo Sander, that's interesting. That's new. that's a little expensive there. 143 bucks. Holy crow. So it sands. So that's kind of like the Neo Blade. But the Neo Blade was, yeah, it's expensive, but they also have like the, there's the premium. Just the Neo Blade itself is 134 with one battery and some blades and stuff like that. But yeah, cutting models and PLA and stuff like that, leather, cardboard. I'm pretty impressed with it, to be honest with you. I was like, yeah. So the more I use it, the more I'm like, I'm glad I have it. So, matter of fact, ding, fries are done. Cut that thing off like butter. And for plastic sprues and things like that, it just, again, pretty amazing. Yeah. So now we'll be able to fit this guy on here. And let's see if he, oh yeah, this will be good. And with his 3 legs, we can even end up, we can have a leg on each level. So that'll be pretty good. I like that. That'll be really, really nice. And it fits perfect. Pretty much perfect onto our base there. That'll be good enough. So we'll throw a little bit of super glue on that. And we'll let that dry and we should be good to go. So yeah, gotta love it, gotta love it. And where's my little clamps that we got? We should be good. Is that going to be... Yep, we're good. Alrighty. George says, give it another year and we'll have the sonic showers from Star Trek. That could be. You never know. Yeah, this is going to be a cool looking guy, I think. Thank God there's only one of them. I'm pretty sure I only need one of these, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyway, definitely check that out. Yeah, so there we did it. We did the Warhammer Hexmark destroyer. We built that. We did the base. We did the topper. Topper and base are currently being glued together. And then, yeah, we can do some priming that. But that won't be in this video. We'll do that. We'll save that for another one. But probably won't do the primer, the black primer. We won't do that in the video because it's just spray can and boom, it's black. And then the base color, they'll airbrush that. Probably won't make a video on that. But when we start doing the dry brush with the gold and everything and getting the different colors and then doing the washes on top of the gold to create some depth, and then of course the joints and things like that will go back with the other color and a greedy gold on the spine to really kind of knock that out. And then I also have a dark green Vallejo true metallic colors. So those will be really, really interesting because I'm getting a darker green, so we'll see how that one goes. And I do have a color for that. Let me show you. I got a lighter green color that I've been using. Where is it? No, that's black. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So this true metallic color is kind of an interesting little color there. And you can see that. And so I tried this on a couple of different items. And so you can see the colors there. I like it. And these were the test pieces for these little guys. Where's the other one? So yeah, we've got these guys here and they turned out good, but I'm gonna get the darker one and we'll see how the dark green turns out. And so with the dark green, that might be what I'll use for like these pieces on here, like on his shoulder, kind of like the shoulder pad. So that way they got all kind of the same colors and everything. So we'll try that with a darker green. And then of course with this guy, will be kind of the same color scheme, but then it's like trying to get into there. Will be quite the interesting little thing that we got there. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be good. And there is our topper. So he should be good to go. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So I think we did enough. I think we did enough for today. We did the Hexmark destroyer. We did all that. Did a little bit of cutting with our Neo blade, which is turning out to be a really super nice tool. And some of the other stuff. I still have, if you see that big box right there, that's a Uniformation GK3. My wife just reminded me, it's been a couple of months because we got that just before we went to the Philippines on vacation. We came back from the Philippines. We had a little bit of time, and then we went to Hawaii, and then we came back. So, yeah, I need to do the unboxing video, which is going to be interesting. I'm clearing off a table, folding table, bring that in here, and we'll try to set up for, do the unboxing and see if we can do a first print or whatever. Keep the fingers crossed, because that has been waiting patiently. It's been mean mugging me, telling me, hey, you got to hurry up. Hey, we got Swedish Forges in the house. Cool. Hey, what's up, brother? Ferris says everyone was productive today. Nice. Yeah, we're getting there. A little bit of stuff is getting done. So yeah, eventually one of these days, and because this week is going to be, today's what, Sunday, tomorrow, all the stuff that's over here. So if you look and see all that stuff over there on that wall, the air conditioner is just above that. And we're having an AC guy come in who's going to tear apart the air conditioner, clean it up, get rid of all the mold, and do the little once-over thing. So I got to move all of that stuff out of the way so he can do his air conditioner cleaning thing. So that's going to be tomorrow at 12:30. So yeah, I'm going to be busy cleaning my whole shelf that I just got set up into the way that I like it. And then all the cameras and the and then Tuesday, we're going to go see the realtor about buying that apartment, or at least look at some apartments, see some different layouts, and we'll see what happens. And then Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, I have to go to Seoul in the morning, so that'll pretty much be an all-day thing. And then Friday, we got nothing going on. Saturday, I got to meet with a guy, so that'll take up most of the morning. And then there's Father's Day on the 21st. And then next Tuesday, we're going to have dinner with some friends. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. This is going to be a lot of stuff going on. So a lot of moving parts. We'll see what happens. If you want to contact me, the best way to contact me is through this email address here, officialthevariedlife@gmail.com. If you just want to say hi, people shoot me emails just to say hi. Guy sent me a picture of his brisket that he was doing. These are a bunch of people that have bought me coffee, so you can do that as well. There's a link in the description box, because I love my lattes. So you can do that to support the channel. Everything will go back to the channel as in durable items, so it's not going to like go to filament. It's going to go, I'll save up the nickels and dimes along with my allowance to get things, like the GK3. I was able to get some of that money and put it towards the GK3 and get better cameras and stuff like that. And, the whole scaffolding, Hoosie stuff that we got going on for good stuff. So, yeah, we got that. If you leave a comment on the video, it might not answer it because I'm the only person, I'm a one-man show. But if you email me, I will always answer my emails. So, yeah, there's that. And we're going to call it a day. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm starving. It's 10:23 here in Korea. Got to get something to eat. So I'm going to let you go probably get your dinner, I'm assuming, where you're at, get something to eat. And I'm going to get something to eat, and we'll do that. Hey, we got Hack 37. Any way to accept some crypto or look into it? I don't know. I'll have to shoot me an email. I don't know. I have some crypto, but I just kind of buy it and set it and forget it, and that's it. But or I can do PayPal. You can do that as well. So that's an option. So anyway, Hack says, have a good breakfast. Everybody have a good meal or whatever you're doing. Again, here in Korea, it's Sunday, so that means in the United States, it's probably Saturday. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you're in other parts of the world, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you on the next video. Peace. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed.